My name is Charlene Bybee. I am Sparks City Councilwoman here in the city of Sparks, and I've been on the council for 6 years. Yes, I do have a personal story, and it's my own. It was, I'm trying to think how many years ago now, 2005, that I was diagnosed with uterine cancer, and diagnosed early because I had a great doctor who caught it, stage 1, grade 1, did a full hysterectomy, no chemo, no radiation, and just was so fortunate that going in for my annual exam, which actually I had missed a year, and I just think about how fortunate I was that the cancer didn't start a year earlier. So I went in for my exam, and the doctor was very, very thorough, suspected uterine cancer, did the screening, and sure enough it was, but he caught it really early. So really the screening, in this case, it wasn't a mammogram. It was my pap smear, which didn't show uterine cancer. It only showed cervical. But this doctor just was so thorough that he suspected my age, perimenopausal, all of the reasons of what uterine cancer when it happens. And I was fortunate to have a really good doctor that found that so early, made a difference in my survival, and here I am 15 years later, knock on wood, and it made a difference to saving my life, really. It can't be understated how critical it is to create an awareness and education, because the number one thing you can do with any kind of cancer is catch it early. And we all hear that. I mean, how many times, and it's kind of like, do people even hear it anymore when it's, oh, catch it early? But when you've been there and you've been diagnosed and they did catch it early, and then you hear about family and friends who did catch it early and what a difference it made compared to those who waited or weren't diagnosed till later, the reality really hits home. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your kids, do it for all of those who depend upon you. And it's hard because as women, we take care of everyone else and we don't take care of ourselves. And we're all guilty of that because, we're moms, we're daughters, we're working, we're doing all these things in our life, and we don't make time for us. And this is something that we need to make time for ourselves and take care of ourselves so that we can be there for everyone else. I think that's critically important. I think for people who either aren't aware or they're maybe afraid of going in and getting tested and maybe having cancer, because it's terrifying when you get that call back from a doctor or a test result. It's like someone kicked you in the gut. A lot of us, it's just procrastination. Oh, I'll do it next year, I'll call next month, and you just don't get around to it. I think when you share stories with people like mine that did find their cancer so early, and I talk to a lot of women, and I think those of us who are survivors, we share our stories because we want other women and other people who are having an early cancer diagnosis, how critical it is. And so I think that's a support network for each other, and we can encourage each other and our family members and our friends on how important it is. You got to have a good doctor. Have trust in your doctor. And if you don't, you can get a second diagnosis, and there's nothing wrong with that. So have confidence in the doctor and in your treatment plan. Have a support network. Your support network can be your family, it can be friends, it can be other survivors, but people who are there to support you through your journey, regardless of what stage you wind up being diagnosed. And then if you have friends or family who are diagnosed with cancer, keep reaching out to them. In the beginning, in fact, it's funny because in the beginning, I was amazed. It told me a lot about people. It was really eye-opening and made me think about how I react to cancer. There were some people that I never expected that reached out, were sending me cards, were calling, were really, how are you doing? And really showed a concern that I would not have expected. And then there were some people that I was really close to that I never heard from. And it made me stop and think, what on, why would someone not reach out to someone you're really close to? And then I came to realize it's how people process things. And for some people, and you hear this with other tragedies and things, that some people can't handle the fact if they're going to lose you, or that how they deal with grief and how they deal with tragedy is different. And so you can't, if I came to understand that, not to hold it against people, but it was eye-opening to me, the people who stepped up, and then those who I expected to, who did not. And at the end, it was okay, because I was okay. I would say just do it. Just go out and make that call. And several years ago, there was a law that changed the insurance companies mandating that they cover breast exams. So mammograms, if you have insurance, a mammogram is covered, and there's no, there shouldn't be a deductible, there shouldn't be a charge at all. A mammogram is covered. And if you don't have insurance, there's the mammogram vans, there's services. You just Google mammogram, and there are free mammograms everywhere. So cost is not an excuse. Time, there's a lot of options on where and when you can go get a mammogram. And I would say just do it. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, and do it for our community, because